had some good offensive finish, I think. And then when they had tied the game, we got better. In our second period, we'd given up 2 goals, but we drove harder, put up 20 shots, so we didn't bend at that point.
Not a good start to the second, though, would you say?
Yeah.
I think they got off like 9 or 10 shots.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch off because we had about 3 around the 10-minute mark and finished with 20. So I think we pushed back off it. I think you get a goal late in the period. I think sometimes that's tough. You see it. The interesting thing about that team, though, and then you got to be careful with how you measure yourself negatively, right? Because they just went in and beat Colorado. They just beat LA, and they just went in and put up 6 on Toronto, and had Tampa down in that game. So we hit them at their peak on 2 days. So I think it was a good National Hockey League win.
Yeah, Nick Bukestad just said about you guys are better than your record. The same could go for them. It just seemed like it was just a good up and down game.
Yeah, it was hard. I think both teams are going to see the things that they gave up. They really won't like were kind of mental mistakes or some execution, and then there was also some really good stuff that both teams did. It drove at a very high pace. There's some good physicality in the game. So there are parts of it that both teams I think can be proud of.
Hat trick for Tkachuk, and not just 3 goals, the timing of them.
Yeah, we needed that. And we needed that. It has felt like in a lot of our games we've had that chance that wouldn't go in, right? That we've been down the pipe so many times this year in the slot. We generate so much from the slot, and those are all kind of exciting chances. But the goal that he pulls back and goes short side shelf, that's all hands.
3 goals for Tkachuk, but also 2 for Eric Staal.
Yeah.
When you get goals from not only your top line, but your fourth line as well.
We scored 2, yeah. I didn't run them in the 4-hole after they were running in the 3-hole. They were pretty good. Like the goal that, second goal that he scored, the rollout goal, the bar down goal. Smith is net front, then he hunts a puck down to the top of the circles, and then he goes back net front, I liked what the 2 of those guys had going on. Eric's a really smart player, and he can read people that are predictable. And I thought that Smith was a very predictable, very hard game. I like the 2 of them, big men, and they got to the net.
I know you don't deal with goalies a whole lot, but Spencer Knight, a young kid last year, was his first year really not playing a lot and having to learn how to deal with that. Do you think he's done a nice job of preparing himself for being able to play tonight? I mean, 2 out of the last 10, I think he's played.
Yeah, well, he came off the injury, so he's used to that kind of off his last year, not getting an awful lot of starts and coming back in. And it was there for me. It was his first kind of run, little mini run that he had this year, and he played well in that. What I liked about his game tonight was that he won't like the second goal, right? It's a cross-blocker shot, backhand. But after that, he was really good. And even kind of the miscommunication between probably him and the linesman more than anything else on the icing play that got waved off at the end, he got full battle right after that, right? He made 2 really good saves, kind of being able to get your emotions wired at that point. I thought I've liked it. He's had a couple of off nights at worst. Other than that, he's been pretty darn good for us.
Matthew mentioned that there's another level that he could reach. I mean, could you imagine a Matthew Tkachuk on like a whole different level?
The other level would be without the puck. He's going to put up enough points this year to be a truly elite player. But you probably caught him. His memory will be Chikrin going backdoor on him and getting a pretty good chance. So there's another piece to his game that he's still a young man. He's still just coming into it. There's a whole bunch of the game that he's going to get better and better at. This guy's a rock star.
Thank you.
Go ahead, we'll give one more.
Going back to Eric Staal for a second, 12 points in the last 16 games. In your mind, what's been the biggest difference for him in terms of that production as of late?
I think just time, Katie. Like, he took a year off hockey. My memory of the last part of Eric Staal is Montreal beating us in the semifinals, and we didn't have an answer for his line. It was him and Corey Perry and Joel Armia. They're big, heavy guys that hung on to the puck. And you take a year off, it's going to take a while, but he just keeps kind of building and getting better and stronger without opportunity for offense. He's not on the power plays. He's playing in the 4-hole, right? The guys that he's playing with aren't shooters. So he's kind of earned all of those goals are kind of in some, when it comes off his stick, it's his. Right, like the line mates do a good thing, but those are pure. There's a guy who's got 1,300 points putting pucks in the net. I still think he's got more.
Thank you.